What's going on, people? Good morning. Welcome to the Morning View, or Flex's View, or another reflection, a reflection on the reflection. Any, whatever you guys want to call it, that's what it is. Happy Thursday, man. 28th of December. A couple of days left, a few days left of this year, 2023, coming to an end. Getting them New Year's resolutions ready. Yeah. Is it to lose weight? Is it to get in the gym? Is it to cut down on chocolate? Is it to start a hobby? I don't know. Is it something that you've always wanted to do that you've never done? Whatever it is, get thinking and get it locked in. Before I start, solo today, big up Owen. I said to him, listen, Owen, I'm taking the reins. I need to talk to the people because there's so much slander on Mason Mount that I need to get it off my chest, heart to heart. I need to take control of this stream. That's what I said. It's not. But big up to Owen as well, as always. He's chilling this morning. That's what I need. Yes, because of reflection time. Before I get into it, though, about Mason Mount and his injury return, the quiz, as you can see right there, bottom left-hand corner of the screen, scan the QR code. I know we said it was going to be yesterday, but we changed it. Yeah, we changed it. So it is going to be tonight, 6 p.m. Get your... Get the app downloaded. You need to be a UV member, okay? Be part of the UV Members Club. It's an exclusive perk, one of many perks that we give to the members. If you want to get involved and play the quiz alongside us, if you think you know more than us, if you think you can get a higher score than us, it's great fun. People have really wanted to see it. So get involved. And there will be a link on the members tab as well, community tab, for the code that you need to access the quiz. Of course, you can just play along in general on your phones or your laptops or other devices. But if you want to get involved, as in with the leaderboard and head to head, then you just need to be part of the membership club as well. So without any further ado, Mason Mount. It was a little bit dry this morning in terms of news. There wasn't loads. There was a little bit about Varane. Sort of not leaving. But I wanted to just do more of an opinion. When it's like that, you can't just make stuff up. I think it was the perfect time to actually discuss Mount because, yes, he's back training on the grass. We saw that yesterday. That's not the news. But I wanted to discuss, could he start his Man United career in January? I mean, let's say that, the presser comes out tomorrow. And obviously Nottingham Forest would probably be too early for him. You'd expect, but we've seen other things. But that's the last game of 2023. And then, we got Wigan away. And then the next home game, or our next Premier League game after that, I think, is Spurs at home on the 14th. But can Mason Mount, not even reignite his Man United career? Can he ignite it? It's not got off the floor, has it? It hasn't started yet. Let's be honest, for a mixture of when he was available at the beginning of the season, he obviously was playing in a team that was losing games. That we do know. We saw that midfield really early on, even in the first couple of games where it was the same, and it just was wrong. It was just wrong. I think maybe we didn't take into account that obviously it was players who hadn't played with each other before because we changed it. I think it was Bruno Casemiro at the time. I think it was Bruno Casemiro and Mount at the time. And we were like, it's not working. There were gaps everywhere. There were holes everywhere. And Wolves just absolutely destroyed us. And that was a big issue. Then going into the Spurs game, we had huge issues as well. And it's been like that ever since Mason Mount's been here. And then he got injured once. Then he was out for a little bit. Then he came back in. And then when he was fit, he wasn't being selected. So then we were like, Eric spent best part of 60 million on Mason Mount and he's not playing him. What's going on? How's he not playing him? How's this happening? And I just wanted to go back to it there. So the first game of the season was Wolves, right? Lineup. Yeah, Mount, Bruno Casemiro. And we all saw what happened against Wolves. We got absolutely rinsed. You had Lamina and Gomez just absolutely running holes through us, running through us like we was not there. Cunha was dropping off the front, gave us massive problems. We didn't deserve to win that game. Varane saved the day. Then the next game, we went away to Spurs, didn't we? Went away to Spurs, and the midfield then was exactly the same. Fernandes, Mount, Casemiro. Then we saw for 20 minutes that actually it can work. that was the frustrating thing. Mount was winning the ball back high up the pitch. It was almost playing with 2 8s, even though down on paper it was a 4-2-3-1. That we were going high in the press. Bruno was high, Mount was high, Casemiro was sitting, was getting high turnovers. We should have scored in that 20 minutes, Bruno being the one, and then we didn't, and then we just collapsed, didn't we? We just folded. And then the warning signs started to be there, didn't they? Let's be honest. Then there was an international break. Then the next game was Forest at home, and the lineup started to change a little bit. That was when Eriksen came in for Casemiro. Eriksen, Casemiro, and Bruno started, and then we're like, what's happening here then? He was already injured straight away, so he already wasn't in the squad for that game, Mason Mount. So things started to change. So what my point is that he's had no continuity since he's come. And my question is to you is, do you think that he can ignite his career at Man United? Do you think this is it, or do you think he's going to come in, maybe struggle to get into the squad? Has the squad moved on already? You got Kobbie Mainoo doing bits now. He's looking like he's going to start more games. Or what does it look like when Mason Mount comes back? Obviously, he doesn't play the Kobbie Mainoo role. They're completely different players, and rightly so. But can Mason Mount assert himself in this squad, or is it back to square one again, where we're like, it's round pegs in square holes? It's Bruno and Mason Mount. How does that work balance wise? You got Kobbie Mainoo, you've got Casemiro to come back. You also got a ball playing midfielder in Christian Eriksen, who's obviously not going to start every game, but Eric does tend to go for him. What is Mason Mount's best position? I still think Mason Mount's best position is as an 8. I know that I was told as well that he was bought to play alongside Casemiro as a 6. And I don't see that. I know we haven't seen that much of it. I know that was the intention. If you look at the first game we played, that was probably the intention, because it was Casemiro, Bruno, and Mount, with Bruno in the 10 essentially. But it doesn't. Does it work when Bruno sort of isn't in the 10 and plays deeper? We saw it at times last year, didn't we? When we played in Europe against like Betis and things like that, when we had injuries, there's a good few games where he would drop a bit deeper. But if we're honest, it's not really where Bruno's best, is it? Bruno's best in the number 10. Bruno's best playing behind the striker. Bruno's best sort of furthest forward out of a midfield three. But can he adapt? We haven't got to see yet what the long-term plan was for Mason Mount. Out of many things. One, the team just wasn't taken to it early on, and then all the injuries happened. Then the results got shit, and then Erik ten Hag found himself in a position which he still finds himself in ever since then, of just keeping his head above water, changing the team almost every game. There's never, I can't think of the last time that we had like back-to-back 11s. I can't think of it. You guys are really good. With stats like that in the chat, someone will put it in, but I can't think of the last time we rolled out the same team more than once with no changes. Or if we did do it, I guarantee we haven't done it for 3 games in a row. I'll be absolutely shocked, and that's a big issue when you look at most of the good teams in the league. Not even just the top teams, just any team that's trying to build, any team that's got a bit of continuity. Well, that is it. They have the continuity. You know who's going to start. You know what your best 11 is. And Eric didn't know what his best 11 was at the start, because he wanted to make changes with Højlund wasn't there yet. Onana was there, and he started to go with Mason Mount and stuff. But it didn't work really early on, and then there were those injuries. So we don't know what the plan is. But for me, his best position is at 8. And I know people have given Mason Mount stick and said he's a waste of money. He's crap. He's this. He's that. I think he's a good player. I actually think he's a really good footballer, and I think there is actually a space for him in this team. But I do agree it's puzzling, because it looks like it has to be a space instead of Bruno, or it looks like it has to be a space in a different type of setup. If we're going to play 2 8s, right, that lone 6 is gonna need a lot of help. If it's Casemiro, he ain't got the legs in most games, as we've seen. And how is he going to come back? If it's Kobbie Mainoo, it's that he's really young and he's learning the game. So to sort of leave him alone in midfield with 2 attack-minded players like Bruno and Mount, would severely actually unbalance us and probably leave poor Kobbie Mainoo hang him out to dry. which then goes to a tactical tweak of either Bruno or Mason Mount playing deeper, or a whole change in general in terms of just go to a straight midfield three. You know, sometimes we underestimate that. Just a straight up midfield three. Liverpool have done it for years. City have done it for years. Yes, De Bruyne finds himself the furthest forward, or whether it's Foden sometimes, or, you know, back in the day when it was Silva. But essentially, they're a midfield three, and when they have got the ball, you know, the most attacking player usually takes the impetus and makes things happen. When they haven't got the ball, they kind of all get back in as a trio. That maybe it might have to be that. Bruno has proved, like I said, has shown in some games he can play deeper. I think out of the two, if I was going to choose one to play deeper out of Bruno and Mount, I would choose Mason Mount. I think he's more disciplined on the ball. I think he can drive with the ball very well. I think that's underestimated. I don't think Bruno's got leg speed with the ball to get away from challenges. He's good at nicking it off people and playing sort of first-time balls. Or if you play it into Bruno with a bit of space on the half turn, or he's got a ball around the corner he can play with either foot, perfect weight. We saw that just in the last game, Aston Villa, which I got completely wrong, by the way, with my Bruno rating, which I was a disgrace and cheat, had to go back and fix. But we did see it then. But I would say that if I was to choose one to play deeper, Mason Mount is the more adaptable out of Bruno and Mason Mount. And if Mason Mount's asked to do that type of job by Erik ten Hag, I think he could carry that out. So I'm gonna go on the side of optimism on this. You know, I think he can ignite his career, but I don't know what the plan is. I don't know how Eric's going to use him. Does it mean Kobbie Mainoo? You know, I mean, Kobbie Mainoo, if there wasn't this much injuries, would Kobbie Mainoo have played as much as he has done? Well, actually, I would probably argue yes. If we look at, I think the plan for Kobbie Mainoo this year was always to get him going. I think preseason showed us that. I think the games that he was starting in preseason showed us that, until he got injured against Real Madrid, which actually was a really long injury. And since he's come into the team after such a long injury, as soon as he's kind of been back fit and getting on the bench, they took their time with him. They put him back in the under-23 so he can get his fitness up. He took the piss out of a couple of teams and players, getting back up to speed. Then he was back on the bench for us. And before we knew it, it was a surprise addition where he started at Goodison. Then after that, he went away to Galatasaray and played, come off the bench. Then straight after that, he started at Newcastle. Then after that, he played against... he started against West Ham since then. He started again against Aston Villa. So he's starting to, you know... Yeah, I think I've missed one as well. But he's starting to play in a lot of big games. So I would argue that the plan was always to get him going. And they see him as the future in that position. And they absolutely should. Kobbie Mainoo, Mason Mount, Bruno... What are you saying? Are you having that? Kobbie Mainoo, Mason Mount, Bruno. Maybe that will be the key. But it's good to have him back. Let's hope that he can get back. Well, I don't think he'll be back before the Forest game. I think that'd be too quick. But you never know. You never know. If they would put pictures of him in training yesterday and he's on the grass by himself. If he's trained yesterday by himself on the grass, because I don't think it was a massive, massive injury. It's not a Martinez situation where he needs to be on the grass by himself for weeks and weeks and weeks, maybe even months. Say he's back on the grass for a couple of days. Games on Saturday. That game will probably come too quick for him. Then he gets a good couple of weeks off before we play, or good week off before we play on the 6th against Wigan. And that actually would be a decent game to get Mason Mount back into, playing against Wigan away from home, League One opposition, and then get ready for, you know, the week after that, where we got Tottenham at home. So I think he can ignite his career. Let me know what you guys think. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Also, remember, right there, scan the QR code. Join the UV end of year quiz. It's really easy. It's going to be super fun. If you want to play alongside us, okay, all you need to do is you need to be a member, and there will be a members post in the community tab that will give you the code to access the quiz, so you can put your wit up against me and Owen and KG and whoever else is in the quiz as well. Minna's going to be in there. I think Mike is going to be in there. It's going to be really fun. And also we're giving away an exclusive limited edition Fresh Ego Kid box set with an exclusive collaboration with Xbox controller, exclusive hoodie, and an exclusive cap and a wicked little sort of gift box as well, limited edition. So look out for that. I will see you then. Don't go anywhere. Take care, people. Let's go.